Now, speaking of foster families, one of the most overlooked challenges for foster parents is raising a child that may be from a different race. But now, a community organization is stepping up to help bridge the gap between culture and hair. Being a foster parent is rewarding, no doubt, but there can also be a bit of a learning curve, especially if you foster a child from a different race.
In working with the foster care system, we realized that the parents needed to have some education around caring for a child of a different race or from a different culture.
That's where Jack and Jill stepped in. The African American Community Organization teamed up with the Arizona Department of Child Safety to educate foster parents on one of the most noticeable aspects of their child's life, their hair. And while it may sound basic, when it comes to the self-esteem of a child, having your hair done right matters.
How do we ensure that the full child feels like they can bring their best selves to school, to when they go to events? And hair is a big piece of that.
Today we're going to be...
So Jack and Jill hosted a webinar on how to do black hair, and the response was tremendous, with more than 125 foster families joining in, many submitting questions they might otherwise be hesitant to ask.
They were very basic on combs and shampoos, and if my child wants to swim, what do I need to do to protect their hair?
From braids to an afro cut, a stylist was on hand to break it all down, reassuring families you don't have to be perfect to parent.
We're all unique. Every child is different, and so some of it will be trial and error.
The stylist created a YouTube channel as a permanent resource for parents, and Jack and Jill put together hair care kits with the oils, conditioners, and combs to get started.
We package the products so that they can be ready to mail out.
Lois Williams is the owner of Lolo's Hair, Fashion, and Accessories. Jack and Jill choosing her shop to provide the products.
They are going to be shipped all over the Phoenix area, as far as Prescott and Flagstaff, and as close, of course, as Phoenix and Chandler and some of the other areas.
Foster families spending nearly $1,800 on supplies thus far, a big boost to a Black-owned South Phoenix business, especially during a pandemic.
Well, it's a blessing to be a part of this.
The Department of Child Safety on hand as some 60 kits went out this weekend.
There's such a need for this type of learning and understanding of how to care for hair.
I think that this bridges the gap and gives them an opportunity to know that it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to really get information or resources around how do you care for a child's hair.
And opening the dialogue for so much more. True indeed, and the discussions on hair opening that dialogue on other aspects of Black culture as well, like attending a Black church, for example, and teaching history beyond the bounds of slavery. And I'm going to post a link to that YouTube video on how to do black hair just about an hour or so after we get off the air, once I get a chance to write that up, but you'll be able to find it at abc15.com. No, hey.